I'm Jenna Martin, and I would like to present the age discrimination of pilots. Why did I choose this subject? This subject is very important to me, as my dad is a pilot and has been since before I was born. He used to fly 747-400s for Coletta Air before being forced to retire at the age of 65 due to the legislation put in place. I would like to dedicate this presentation to my dad. Let's get started. Pilots are forced to retire at the age of 65. A pilot had an in-flight heart attack at the age of 63, and people grew concerned about the safety of passengers on commercial flights, which is pretty valid. The FAA requires pilots to pass a flight physical regularly in order to stay certified to fly aircraft. They also require recurrent training to ensure the competency of flying that aircraft. Most other professions do not require retirement at a specified age. Usually you can retire at whatever age you would like. The aviation industry introduced this legislation due to a pilot surplus, but now there is a shortage. Forcing senior pilots to retire is a waste of knowledge and experience they have built their entire career. So we need to reverse the legislation requiring pilots to retire at the age of 65. Some opposing arguments from people that want the legislation to stay in place is the concern of the health of pilots. When that pilot had a heart attack while flying at the age of 63, people grew concerned about the safety of commercial flight passengers, which is a valid concern. You would want to have a safe flight. The reason that they were so concerned about this is medicine proved that the potential for heart disease increases after the age of 60. So people were questioning the morality of having senior pilots in the cockpit with the potential of having heart disease. The concern for pilot surplus was the fact that senior pilots were not retiring, making it impossible for others to climb the career ladder. People were actually leaving the aviation industry because there were no jobs available. So legislation was put into place to get the senior pilots to retire and open spaces for younger pilots to move up in their career. The concern for the health of pilots should not be a concern, as everyone has different health at the same age. You cannot really compare people and their health, and you cannot really predict heart disease before it happens. And there's already requirements put into place to ensure safety non-related to health. The FAA requires you to pass a flight physical regularly in order to stay certified to fly aircraft. Part of these flight physicals is a heart exam. In fact, when you turn 45, you have to get an annual ECG, otherwise known as the EKG. Other professions do not force retirement because of age or health. You're usually able to do your job until you physically can't do it anymore or until you don't want to do it anymore. Another form of safety is the co-pilot in the right seat of the aircraft. Co-pilots ensure the safety of passengers during flight, as one pilot becomes unconscious, the other one is able to make an emergency landing and land safely so everyone is safe. That's why 2 pilots is always better than 1. The concern for a pilot surplus was the fact that senior pilots were not retiring, causing a pilot surplus with no way to climb the career ladder. The reason why this should not be a concern is that now there's a pilot shortage. The aviation industry has grown and it is continuing to grow every day. We constantly add different flight routes to combat the demand of travel. And as you add flight routes, you have to add pilots to fly those flight routes. So we need every single pilot we can get. Forcing senior pilots to retire is a waste of knowledge and experience they have built over a career of flying. We need those senior pilots to be able to teach our younger pilots how to fly and what they have experienced in order to ensure safer flying. In conclusion, we need to reverse the legislation forcing pilots to retire at the age of 65. Pilots have to pass a flight physical to stay certified. Recurrent training is required to ensure competency. Co-pilots allow for extra safety in case of an in-flight emergency. Other professions do not use age discrimination. There's a pilot shortage. We need every single pilot we can get. And forcing pilots to retire is a waste of knowledge and experience. I really appreciate you guys listening to my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Here are my works cited. I had a lot, so here's my other slide with the rest of them. And thank you.